All right, welcome into another edition of Catching Up with Tommy Mack here on 1010XL's podcast platform, 1010XL.com. We are live on Facebook, of course, and then my boy and friend and producer, Grammage, he takes it and shares it all over social media, all over other platforms. Catch us at 1010XL.com. Catch us at the 1010XL app. I'm here on a Friday morning getting ready for Jaguars today. We jumping into the traditional airways with Mike Dempsey. I think Fat Tony's on break, and Pockets will be there as well. So looking forward to getting into that. Brought to you by my friends at Team Tommy Mack, a group of businesses that I endorse personally right here on this show, other shows, all over social media, out in the streets, you name it. I connect them. I do a little biz dev for them, help them out any which way I can. They are businesses that are always there for you, and I got a new one to announce very soon. So looking forward to that, to add to the team. Lots to get into today. We got to jam some stuff in a short period of time. I apologize for that, but got to be on time for the 10 o'clock start of Jaguars today. Throwback Thursday yesterday. Absolutely stunning, incredible. Congrats to everybody involved. We're going to talk about that. Happy birthdays out there, of course. Shad Khan, Jeff Lageman, my friend, Fat Tony, and Coach Dave Campo, all on the same day. How about that? Battle for number 8. How about this? This is interesting. Battle to trademark number 8 between Troy Aikman and Lamar Jackson. Very interesting stuff. Bucky Brooks lists his top 10 NFL rosters in 2024. We're also going to look at potential trade bait during training camp. Per Clutch Points, a guy named Shervon Fakimi came up with 3 that I thought were very interesting. We'll talk about some Brenton Strange. We'll look around the NFL, and we'll cram it all into a nice tight box, wrap it with a bow, and then smell you later. We'll head out for the weekend. Let's say hello, though, before we do all that, to my friend and colleague. Can you be a colleague 30 years younger than me?
Yeah.
Yeah. How old are you, 24?
26.
Oh, you're 26. Okay. I'm going to be 54 in a couple. Grammage, good morning.
Yes,
54 in a week from Tuesday.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
Thank you. Happy Friday. My boy Beef Hollis, I was just talking to him, friend from high school. His birthday's today. And every year it's like, we both do, but I try to think of a football player that resonates with the number of the age I'm at, right? So last year, 53, Harry Carson was my guy, right? Great linebacker. Love. 51, of course, was Butkus, and it goes on and on.
54 is going to be no problem.
I'm thinking about. So he's saying Urlacher, Brian Urlacher for the Bears. Hall of Famer,
It's
great player. I get that.
You're from Chicago.
Dude,
it's got to be.
I'm not feeling Urlacher, though. I don't know what I'm feeling yet.
What about Mike Pete?
Oh, well, he's a little young to, say that's my. Although I love the way Mike Pete played. I typically think just older guy. Like I would think of I don't know, Randy White, the defensive tackle of the Dallas Cowboys. Mike P, if I was 70, man, no, I'm just kidding. No, he was fantastic. You know what? My favorite memory of Mike Peterson, him and Jamal Lewis in the open field. He didn't go low. He went face to face, and he stoned his ass. And if you remember Jamal Lewis from the Ravens, he was an absolute beast, especially in the open field. And Mike P came up in the middle. It was not in the middle field. It was over to the right, to the Jag sideline, and kapow. I don't know how many of you fans remember that, but it was an absolute blast. I was like, that's a middle linebacker right there, man. You take him high and you get him done. But, yeah, Mike P would be a good one. I got to think about Urlacher obviously was phenomenal. How about that guy? Comes out of New Mexico State and was returning kickoffs at his size, 6'4", 260, could run like crazy. Unbelievable.
Probably the most insane thing about Brian Urlacher of the last decade or so since he retired from football.
Yeah.
Full head of hair.
Yeah.
Whatever he did, that guy is one of the baldest dudes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. This was when it was maybe early college, I think, when he got inducted into the Hall. For me, I was in early college.
Yeah, right.
2016, 17, that kind of range that he got into the Hall.
Yep.
And I was back home for the summer, and it was like late summer when they were doing the Hall of Fame inductions and stuff. I'm watching with my dad, and Brian Urlacher comes out, and we're like, he has hair?
Yeah.
We're like, what?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. So there's a young guy named Andy at the Horse's Mouth. He had implants they took it from the back and put in the front, and it's unbelievable. You can't. Yeah. It's real hair, and you can't tell. But they do. It's like grafting. He had like 2,000 holes in his head, but it heals and it looks great. So maybe he did some of that.
You have to suffer through it looks really bad at the beginning.
In the beginning, yeah.
Landon Donovan is doing it right now. He played U.S. soccer.
Yeah, of course.
But he's on TV, and it's just these little. It looks like dust on the top of his head. It looks bad, right? But eventually it'll look good.
It'll look good. It'll grow in.
Pain is beauty, I guess.
Yeah, knock on wood. Mine recedes, but can't tell, but I got a full head of hair. I got no problem. And you're full of it as well. All right, yesterday, Throwback Thursday, the Jaguars release the throwback jerseys. Look, they look better than ever. They look better than when we wore them. And I wasn't a huge fan of the teal. I liked the teal. It represents the Jags, but I like the all whites with the black helmet. I thought we looked bad to the bone on the road. And when we wore those all whites, now we didn't have all blacks back then. It was either white on white or teal on white. That was really the only options that we had. But the white on white, oh man, I think the black helmet, I thought we looked bad to the bone.
Teal numbers on the white jersey.
Yeah, exactly. Teal numbers on the white jersey. And look, I tell you look at the images of Trevor and the other, it looks great. I mean, the colors look great. The combo looks great. The video was phenomenal.
Oh, man.
It was phenomenal. Whoever put that together, congratulations. That was a great job. Sears, Tyson, of course, Cisco Kid. I mean, they were all great. Look, I'll tell you, for a team that, faltered last year and hasn't won a lot, in recent year, there's a lot of hype for this team. And I don't mean hype like Super Bowl hype. I mean just hype with a lot of good vibes, a lot of good things happening. It was packed yesterday at Throwback Thursday. I know Dempsey was on, 1010XL was out there. The jerseys went off the rack. They were gone. I mean, Trevor's getting, having a child, gets contract, new state. I mean, it's like, think of all the good that's been happening. Now, what's got to happen? Got to win. Got to win. It's time to win. But what a great thing. I tell you, it brings back a lot of memories, man. We had a lot of success back in the day. It's funny. We were talking about Jimmy Smith, me and Dave Campbell and Brian Sexton. We were talking about Jimmy Smith off the air yesterday at the Horse's Mouth. And I said, because the game that Jimmy got noticed was 1995, and not from us, but just in general. He scored 3 touchdowns in a game against the Denver Broncos 3 different ways. He scored on a kickoff return. They did a throwback, like a double pass. He took off and beat everybody. He scored on a touchdown reception. And then he scored on a block punt. Jimmy Smith in 1995 would line up next to me on the punt block team. Think about that. That's how so you out there, you grunt and you grind, you never know when your stardom's going to come, right? Because he truly was. But it does bring back a lot of memories. Of course, Tom Coughlin at the center of it all. He will be inducted in the Jaguars Ring of Honor October the 6th. That's when they will debut these throwback uniforms. What a great day that's going to be. What a great day that's going to be. I tell you, with the Weavers and Coach Coughlin, Michael Hugh, all the guys, Ron Hill, David, what was your name? Selden, David, all these guys, man, they helped build this team and put it together. And it's about time TC's in the Ring of Honor, and it's going to be fantastic. What a celebration it'll be. So congratulations to all of that. Bucky Brooks, check this out. Lists the top 10 NFL rosters in 2024. Our Jaguars are not in it. You want to play a little game? It's Friday. Want to play a little game? All right, between me and Grammage. Mm-hmm. So, Grammage, how many of the top 10 NFL, this is Bucky, his list. Now, he talked to scouts. So I don't know if you saw it, but even if you did, maybe your memory's not that great. But let's see how many you think you'll pick all 10?
I think I'll get at least more than half.
Okay, let's go. You don't have to be in order. You just go ahead.
The 49ers.
They're number 1.
The Chiefs.
3.
Okay. The Miami Dolphins.
7.
Okay. So that's 3 right there.
Yep.
The Detroit Lions.
4. You're 4 for 4. Good job.
Okay. The Eagles.
Number 2. That's 5.
Okay. The Cincinnati Bengals.
Strike 1.
Okay, strike 1. Okay. So I got half the list right now.
You got half the list.
Okay. Got to rattle my brain harder now.
Do you want a hint?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys are number 9.
Okay.
They always look good on paper.
Oh, yeah.
Cowboys.
Well, roster-wise, they are a top 10 roster.
Without a doubt. Yeah, no, I agree. Can they be clutch is the question and get to the Super Bowl?
Right. I don't think the Rams would be on there. Yeah. No.
Okay. I'll let that slide. No problem.
No, yeah. I'm just kind of talking.
2 more X's. Yeah, 1. Come on, think. You know.
I know.
I'll tell you, one of the teams that you got X'd on, think of that division.
Oh, well, this isn't that team, but I'm sure the Texans are probably on there.
Texans are number 5 on the list.
Okay, so the Texans. Okay, so I got 6 of them, right?
Yes.
The Ravens.
Yes.
Okay.
They're number 6.
So I got 7 of them, right?
Yep. Let's see. You're missing boom. No, you're missing 2, I think. I think you got everyone.
Are the Packers?
No.
Dang.
Who's coming back from a major injury? Played 4 snaps last year.
Oh, the Jets.
The Jets.
Okay.
And then I'm not going to give you number 10, but just think, great defense. They overcame adversity last year.
Browns?
Found a guy on the
Cleveland
couch.
Browns?
Yeah, the Browns. Yeah. So there you go. San Fran, Philly, KC, Lions, Texans, Baltimore, Miami, Jets, Dallas, and the Browns' top 10 NFL rosters. 2024, courtesy of Bucky Brooks. I don't know. It's kind of hard to. I think with a lot of it, look, like with the Browns. Now, Browns made it with Flacco, but what if Deshaun's just not the same guy anymore? You know what I mean? What if he's not? I think he should be. I don't know why he wouldn't be. But what if he's just not the same QB anymore?
It's more likely, in my opinion, that he's not the same guy.
I mean, last year I know he didn't have a good year last year. He had a little injury too.
Yeah.
Knocked off the rust, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's healthy. Maybe he's back into the rhythm. I like their coach. I think Stefanski is a good coach.
I like Stefanski,
I think
too.
he could figure it out some way with Deshaun.
Stefanski for the Browns, in a lot of ways, has been what Doug Peterson is for the Jaguars in terms of that was a laughingstock organization, a lot of chaos, a lot of nonsense. And Stefanski has come in since he's been there, just been a good, even keel, normal coach, demands excellence. And the Browns are a respected organization now because of what he's done for that team.
Yeah.
But I think with Watson, the question really in my mind is he ever going to become the quarterback they paid to come there?
Right.
Will he ever get it back? Like 2019 Houston Texans Watson.
That's true.
Man, that was 5 years ago.
I know.
And that was pre-massage stuff.
No, I know.
That was pre-injury.
COVID.
That was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
That was pre-contract.
Right.
I just think when you factor all that in, I think it's maybe like a 10% chance at best that he becomes that guy again.
He might not become that guy, but he's got to come close.
I agree.
I mean, goodness gracious.
I think if he can
he's still got the talent,
of
but
course.
Can he bring it all together? Can he put everything out of his head? And can he run that offense efficiently?
I think when you factor in how much, even since they paid Watson, how much quarterback contracts have gone up in that span.
Yep.
If he can be like 70%, like 70, 80% of what they... Then I think that Browns fans can be content with what they see on the field.
If Chubb comes back healthy, right?
Oh, my God. I mean...
Come on. Do you see him squatting the other day? Why does that must be a bendable bar, because it normally doesn't bend with 5 plates or whatever he had on there.
Yeah. I think
at least the straight bar never bends, but maybe it's a good way to squat. I don't know, but man, he's got some lower body strength. ACL, man, you come back from the ACL. It's all up here in the head if you can get by with that.
It's just that he's had multiple before.
Yeah, I know.
Remember he's had 2 of the most gruesome injuries I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's
Remember
true.
the Tennessee one?
I do.
That was like one of the worst I've ever seen, and then he had this one last year.
That's why I tell you, everyone would rather have a head shot than a knee shot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's weird though. Like
brutal.
It's weird with Chubb though, because if you remove like the like gruesome crazy injuries, he's been pretty healthy.
Oh yeah.
In most of his career,
he's a beast too when he's healthy.
He's had throughout college and the NFL.
Yep.
He's just had a couple like, oh my God type. But besides that, I mean, he doesn't miss a lot of time typically.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recapture the magic up there in Cleveland. We'll see. They had a great year last year. Texans at number 5. Stroud Jr. calls Texan offense a 5-headed monster. How about that? Here's the monster: Diggs, Collins, Dell, Mixon, and Schultz. What are our guys? I mean, compare our guys to that. You got Junior, you got Gabe, you got Kirk, You got Ingram, and you got ETN. Who
I
you
was gonna
take?
say, I didn't know which junior you were talking about. There's two, because ETN's a junior.
Oh, I meant the young kid, Brian
I mean,
Thomas Jr. Yeah.
I mean,
Junior.
I think right now, just pound for pound, what guys have done in the league, you have to take the Texans, really because of Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs
Mixon's a good back, man, when he gets going.
He is a good back.
He's
I
a
agree.
tough back, too.
Is Mixon today better than ETN, though? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think they're different. Mixon, to me, is more of a he'll try to run you over, where, ETN's trying to make a crease and take off and go.
Yeah.
But Mixon could run, too. He's not slow. But I would, ETN, younger. Look, we talk about all these other players, Josh and Trevor, and rightfully so, but ETN's due for a monster year. I mean, the first year he's injured, and then, of course, he has a great year. Last year, not as great. There's factors in that, but man, if he can have a monster year, this team is going places. It's not all Trev. You got to make sure that ETN and that running game is rocking. And, again, use him in the passing game as much as possible. But here's the thing. Like, I'm going to talk about Brenton Strange when we get into it if we have time, but you can only throw to so many people. You know what I mean? And
There's one ball.
I do think, I think it's easy to do this. I do think quarterbacks have favorites. I think Trevor had favorites to throw to last year. Kirk, when he went out, well, who became the favorite? Ingram, right? And then Ridley was a favorite because he's new and he's shiny new toy and I want to make big plays, And then you get into these rhythms and then you know who to go to, So, those things are, five-headed monster. Everybody wants the five-headed monster. What? He's talking about Diggs. Diggs takes it deep. Safety's got to be back, right? You got the number 2, being a possession guy, making the tough catches. You got your slot, a little wiggle, 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 zoom, 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 like Kirk. You got your tight end. You got your back out of the backfield. Everybody wants that. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting. Again, it's going to come down to Stroud Jr. and see if he can, match what he did last year and get close to it.
Last year here, when Ridley was Trevor's favorite, which he was, like, really back half of the year especially,
yeah.
It was clunky.
Yeah.
Versus times where Kirk's been the guy. Years before it was Marvin Jones.
Yeah.
Ingram. It was more seamless, right? To be honest, last year, looking back now, with kind of a little bit removed from it, I think Trevor missed Marvin Jones last year. I think he missed a reliable.
Yeah.
I know he can go get 5 on a 3rd and 2 type of player.
Yep.
And it just made there weren't as many 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 4s. I know I got a guy that I can, because Kirk was out too. So
right. Well, and I do think, although the stats don't really show, I felt like he threw to Ridley a lot more. Like he not forced it, but it almost felt like he forced it.
I totally agree.
You know what I mean?
Totally agree.
Now, granted, if Ridley catches even half of the balls he dropped, who cares? You know what I mean? Then you know what I mean. But and maybe, look, for the record, these drops, I know, like, you can watch a video and it looks like they're perfect pass and all that, but you really don't know if it's perfect. You could see it, like, up close, end zone view. Is the throw absolutely, the way it needs? Look, it's in the hands. You got to catch it. No doubt about it. But not every, non-catch is always 100% the receiver.
Well, it's like anything. The truth is in the middle of it.
Right.
The people that act like Trevor had a horrendous year,
there's
there's context to a lot of those passes could have been caught, a lot of routes were run, like that type of thing. But also you have the people that just post all those videos like you're saying and act like the receivers were just screwing him over all year.
No, right.
The truth is between them.
Somewhere.
The receivers could have helped him out more.
Yep.
And there were times that he should have upped his game more. Those are both true.
Well, here's the thing. So, like, high throws in the back of the end zone. Did he mean to throw them there, or did they just go there? You don't know until you really watch it. You can't tell me by a highlight video whether, it would have been a great catch, but did he put it up that high because he had to? Because there's coverage underneath, or somebody in his way, while he's throwing the ball, so he releases it high. You know what I mean? You just don't know those precise things to really determine whose fault it actually is.
And I remember
most of the time it's the receiver's fault. I'm sorry to cut you off. It is.
While we're talking about this, I'm distinctly picturing the Chiefs game early in the year, because remember they had like the 4 almost touchdowns, right? Remember that game? And the narrative after the game was kind of like, man, they got to finish.
Yeah.
But the narrative as time went on away from that game was that Trevor threw 4 dimes and the receivers just dropped all 4.
Right.
If you look back and remember, again, I think it's both are kind of true. Trevor threw catchable balls, but all 4 of them would have been like great catches.
Right.
I remember all 4 of those. Ridley had one, Zay had one. None of them were throws where afterwards I was like, wow, the receiver just point
Ridley's
blank.
Was near the sideline, right? When it was kind of up like that.
Yep.
So here's the thing. You don't, like your receiver, you're running a route. You're going, you say it's a post. Oh, the ball's over here. Now I got to reroute. And yeah, it might hit me in my hands, but I went through all this shit to get to the ball to begin with, and maybe I'm not in the best position to catch the ball, even though it hits me in the hands. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I think that's where we get on. But nonetheless, hopefully the drops, say, go down. And look, there's drops across the league. KC's everybody's got them. Everybody's got them, so obviously. But the problem with that is if you use that logic, well, if Mahomes, half of his were caught, look what he'd be how much better than everybody else still. Wouldn't have mattered. No question about that. Team Tommy Mack brings you Catching Up with Tommy Mack. Just a great group of business. I love endorsing, man. They do it right. They're always there when you need them, and I try to promote them as much as possible. Chris Lucero's Bail Bonds, J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling, Graffiti American Burger Bar, Carpet Man Flooring, Azar Sausage, Michael Nickus' State Farm Agency, Code Ninjas, Family Tradition Specialty Foods, Home of Coconut Joe's, Salt Air Inn and Suites, and Beach Life Rentals, man, they're fantastic. 1010XL, of course, and we haven't officially signed a deal, but it looks like we're gonna. I'd like to welcome Newmark Phoenix Realty Group. I used to work for Phoenix Realty back in the day. Great people, get the job done. All areas of commercial real estate, they take care of it, soup to nuts, and I'm glad they are part of Team Tommy Mack like I am with all my group. Get in trouble? Bail bonds, boom. 822-2245. Just put the number in. I don't ever need it, Tom. Well, hopefully you don't. Hopefully you don't. But when you do, if you do, or a loved one or a friend or somebody, acquaintance, hey, I know a guy. Now you know a guy. So make sure you take care of that. But great to have all them on board. Okay. Real quick with the Jags, because we're running out of time here. Are either Cam Robinson or Walker Little expendable to a trade? Depends how Javon Foster plays, right? That's the caveat. But what if you're like, this kid's got it. I'm willing to roll with him and one of the tackle position, whatever it may be. We still got one of the other, Cam or Walker. I think just salary-wise, Cam's probably more expendable than Walker. But you really got to believe that Walker can be your left tackle. Now, up until this date, he's never taken it. You got to take it, right? You got to take it. He's never taken it. Doesn't mean he can't be a really good player this year. I heard his offseason's good, which means what? He's been working out. He's been attending. Great. I mean, to me, that's like eating your dinner at night. You get dessert. You don't get extra credit for working out. Everyone should be working out. He was at everything they asked him to be at. Great. He's a professional football player. He's supposed to be at everything they asked him to be at, especially if you're trying to maintain your position and maybe take over. So the question is, do you expect anything to happen? Potentially, I do. I know everyone, and it's fun. You know what's funny? I've been thinking about this rhetoric. Everyone keeps saying, well, Javon Foster's going to be the swing tackle. Javon Foster's going to be the swing tackle, right? What's Walker Little then? Thought he's the swing.
Expendable.
Or Cam's expendable and Walker's your left tackle.
Yeah.
We don't know this yet. I'm not saying it's going on. I'm not saying that's happening, but that's something to look at this training camp. Is there, because look, A, it's money off the books, and B, if you truly believe finally that Walker Little can handle the position, athletically we know he can. Everything else has got to come into play. So can he, if you believe he can handle it, you might make that move. I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
I would say Cam and Walker are both expendable.
Yeah.
But only one of them.
No, you're right.
Like,
I agree. You can't get rid of both.
Like either or could be on the trade block, depending on what the other team wants and compensation and all that.
Yep.
And salary obviously is a big part of it with Cam especially.
Yep.
But if you were to trade one, you have to keep the other. If you traded both, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Because then Javon Foster would have to start.
No, right. You're not trading them both.
At that point, you'd probably be moving Anton on the left.
Look, the one thing that Walker has is he is a bulky draft pick. Second-round pick.
Yep.
So that they want that to work. They want that to work. So we'll see how that shakes down. Speaking of trades, we'll wrap it up with this. Clutch Points is Shervin Fakimi. Says potential trade bait. All right, he listed Beathard. That, whatever. Who knows if that happens, if someone needs a backup. Luke Farrell was thrown out there, which I found interesting because I think he's a hell of a blocker. But 2 points. One, we grabbed Joshua DeGuara from Green Bay, and he can play tight end and fullback. We've already got tight. Strange ain't going nowhere. Evans not going anywhere, right? So you got guys. Farrell, the other thing I think that is as a point to make, he's a urban guy.
Yeah.
He's not a Doug guy. Now, that doesn't mean they don't like him at all, but there could be something there, and we'll see. And then finally, Chad Muma. Could he be trade bait? You just got to, where are you going to play him? Where does Chad Muma play? And look, you could special team him, no doubt, and he's a good special teamer. Is he going to play in your base? Could he play Sam? And then Lloyd play Will, and Lloyd could play Mike. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. He's got to show that he can cover the tight end down the field if you're going to play Sam. That's a big one.
I mean, I personally just have a blast watching Chad Muma get mental reps on the sidelines.
Yeah. Well, someone's got to play Sam, though.
It's nothing against Muma, but
I know.
It's maybe my least favorite draft pick they've made.
It just didn't make sense why they did it. Yeah, especially when you traded up for Devin. That didn't make sense.
And I understand the best available thing, and you draft best available and not just need. I get all that.
Yeah.
But they literally drafted a player in the third round that had no place to start.
Yeah.
The only reason he played a lot in 22 was because Devin Lloyd was a chicken with his head cut off by the end of the season and couldn't figure out what he was doing. Once Devin Lloyd figured out where the hell to be, there was no place for Chad Muma. And it's like that third-round pick could have been so many things.
Could have been another Walker Little. No, I'm just kidding. But, it could have been. You never know. You never know who it could have been.
Well, what if they had drafted a tackle that there's tons of tackles in the third round that are studs.
No, I know.
Tons.
I know.
That could have been a backup for ETN.
Yep.
That's better than Bigsby.
Yeah.
That could have been
You're right.
Another receiver.
I just think you got to figure out who's my Sam. Is it Ventrell Miller? Is it Muma? I'm thinking Lloyd could play it, but they may keep him at will because he's played there for the couple of years. But that's all going to work itself out. All right, I got to run. I can't be late for Jaguars today. I want to thank you all. Hey, Zach Thomas, Don Ruder says Zach Thomas for number 54. Good one. He was a fantastic player, no doubt about that. That's an honor, of course, because he is a newly member of the Hall of Fame, which is fantastic. All right, that's going to do it to me. Thanks for all tuning in. This will be shared all over the place. We'll get it shared out there. Grammage does a great job. And, of course, want to thank Team Tommy Mack. Make sure, please, hit their handles on Facebook and the other social media posts that I can tag them on. And just go check out their page. You'll see why they're great. You'll see why they're part of Team Tommy Mack. They get it done right, and they're always there when you need them. So until next time, stay safe, be cool, and we'll see you right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mack. Have a great weekend, everybody.